Let's bring in Tom Murphy real quick. And we've been talking about this basketball game and about football last night. What were your thoughts? Yeah. Arkansas got out of the gate early on Missouri and never looked back in a half of basketball that, Tom, I don't think I can remember in a while. 20 minutes of ugliness like Missouri produced in that first half of last night.
Yeah, as a writer, you always dream for a late tip-off like that to know the outcome. And after that 19-0 run made it 26-3, you can write with pretty good certainty, who's going to win the game. And so it's just so much easier to write. And one thing Eric Musselman said in the lead-up was, one thing about Conzo Martin teams is they always compete. Well, Missouri didn't really compete last night, and I don't know what was going on with them. They just scored 92 on Bama. But for Arkansas, you wish you could have bottled that up and unleashed about 5 or 6 minutes of that on Vanderbilt, and you win that game, and a few minutes of it against Texas A&M, and maybe you win that game. So maybe similar to last year, they're starting to push the right buttons, and it comes at a good time because starting with this game at LSU on Saturday, things are going to get a lot tougher.
Yeah, ratchet it up a little bit. This is the best team that you'll play all season long to this point. The best team you're going to play all year will be when Auburn comes to town on a Tuesday, I think in February, if I'm remembering that date correctly. But looking at what they did last night, Tom, they beat Florida, and they've had it started out with a pretty strong conference record. They lost a lot last year, but Will Wade's gotten things going. What would it say about Arkansas and this basketball team if they kind of parlay this win against Missouri last night and go down and find a way to pull it out against the Tigers?
It would be a huge step. And first of all, they just got to be down there and be tough and physical. And because I was watching that game, and Florida made run after run at LSU in the second half. And every time, it was mostly Darius Days, but various guys just hit big shots when LSU would be up 1 with the ball or up 2. And unfazed by the environment. Florida seems to be somewhat of an offensively challenged team outside of Colin Castleton right now. But still, LSU did everything they needed to, first they built the big margin, and then they held on to it. Arkansas, I like the fact that Eric Musselman started Kamani Johnson and Trey Wade in that game, more of a physical type presence. And if Wade's play last night is an indication, Arkansas could be in a good situation moving on to the quarter pole or so in conference play.
Yeah, those guys just play hard on both ends, and I think that's what Eric Musselman's been searching for. Tom, I want to switch it up and talk some NFL. We do have the playoffs kicking off this weekend, Saturday and Sunday and Monday. So NFL quarterback, pick one. Who faces the most pressure this weekend of any of the guys that are playing?
Oh, gosh. Ben Roethlisberger could be his last game at any time. They won't be favored, obviously. I think Dak Prescott has some pressure because of the Cowboys' playoff history and, what they've got going on. But I don't know. It's those two come to mind the first, I'll say.
I was thinking about college coaches that are getting mentioned in names of making maybe the jump to the NFL. Harbaugh would be going back. You've got Ryan Day, who's been linked to Chicago. Bill O'Brien, maybe to the Jags, and then Lane Kiffin to the Vikings. Of those 4 guys I just listed, Tom, which college coach do you think is most likely to jump to the NFL?
Well, that's a slam dunk right there. I think it's Bill O'Brien because there's this thing about coaching under Nick Saban, and only a few guys have managed to do long-term. Kirby Smart's one of them. And Bill O'Brien, obviously, with the NFL background. So I think if he got the shot, he'd be gone. And he's an interesting guy, too. So the other stuff, if you're Lane Kiffin, do you want that to be part of your resume after, he's done a lot of, I would say, credible rebuilding of his image and brand. And if he were to be at Ole Miss for 2 years and, they had great success this year, and then to move on, then you'd have to worry about, his ability to stay stable in a program. So, and I don't know. I don't think Harbaugh will be gone, but you never know. And then I would think Ryan Day would want to stay at Ohio State, but we'll see. I don't know a lot about the background of Harbaugh and Day enough and what their situations are to comment on whether they're more likely to stay or leave.
Tom Murphy with us here on the Morning Rush. When you look at, I know a lot of folks listening this morning are focused in on San Francisco and Dallas this weekend. Is that the most exciting game for you this weekend? And can the Cowboys finally make a deep NFC run this year and maybe get to the Super Bowl?
I would like to see the Cowboys have more success in the postseason. I've got a lot of friends who are Cowboys fans, and they crushed us this year. I mean, we did not show up against the Cowboys, and it's a very intriguing game. But I also think there's two interdivisional playoff games this week, and I know the Cardinals and the Rams is one of those, and I'd prefer not to see those in the wild card round. But I guess the way things shaped up, it just happened that way. And then, of course, the Patriots and the Bills are playing too. So it's I love the NFL playoffs because anything can happen. And this new format, where they play 3 wild card round games and only one team gets a bye is pretty intriguing. And I think we got a bunch of good matchups. But, yeah, you keep seeing where the Niners are going to play this bully ball on Dallas, and it's not a good matchup for them. I'd like to see the Cowboys rise to the occasion this time.
All right, let's circle back to Arkansas basketball, and we'll get you out of here on this. What do you expect, and what can we expect this weekend as they travel to Baton Rouge to play a red-hot LSU team?
Well, it looks like Kamani Johnson with the ankle might be questionable, so someone else will have to go in the starting role. Here's the thing. There's plenty of talent on this roster. It's a matter of squeezing out the best moments from different guys and subbing in and not losing anything. So maybe Stanley Amude gets another shot. He had 2 really hot starts in recent games. And LSU plays a very interesting trapping defense. You saw Florida had trouble getting the ball across half court, and then the trap would come, and they couldn't take advantage of it and have the numbers and beat LSU to the rim. So I think Arkansas is going to have to practice for that. Their guards have got they got the turnovers down big time. 8 last night after averaging 16.3 the first 3 conference games. If they limit their turnovers and shoot it pretty well, I think they'll give themselves a chance to win at LSU.
All right. So Tom Murphy here with us on the Morning Rush. Tom, appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep. Have a good show. See y'all.
All right. Tom Murphy joins us every Monday and Thursday.
BetOnline would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond. BetOnline remains the #1 spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. New year and a new updated desktop and mobile wagering to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, hockey, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.